So, how to stay raw in cold climates. People ask me this question all the time, how do I keep it raw? How do I keep it healthy when I'm not living in the tropics? Because let's face it, we are tropical animals, obviously. That's the only place where we can be naked year round, where the temperatures are ideal. As we move out of the tropics, we need clothing, we need housing, we need heating, these kind of things. And we also move away from our ideal food source, which is fruit. So, I want to give you a few tips on how to keep it raw, or at least as raw as possible and as healthy as possible, while staying in a place like Norway. I'm in Norway. It's October almost. It's cold, it's unpleasant. I'm about to head out of here. That's my strategy. I just go. I don't stay there. I do my best to avoid having to stay raw in a cold place. Because if you think about it, if we're in the tropics and conditions are optimal, fruit is the optimal food for human beings. But if we're not in the tropics, but we're trying to eat a raw food diet, a fruit-based diet outside the tropics, we're bound to get into some issues. You could of course just go to the tropics, but life is full of compromises. We have different preferences for different reasons. I'm in Norway now because I have family here and I love Norway. I love it, but my body doesn't love it that much. So, you have to find a balance here. It's going to be problems with fruit not being optimal quality, optimal ripeness, and of course that means we're not going to be that satisfied, which means we're going to possibly crave things, possibly not be that happy about our diet. And frankly, there's not much we can do about it at all. If we were to eat some cooked food, it wouldn't really help because cooked food doesn't work. That's what we all experience. That's why we're doing the raw food diet, right? We're doing it because we realize the cooked food doesn't work. But if you have nothing else than cooked food, then I guess you gotta eat some cooked food. And that will work better than no food at all, okay? But let's talk a little bit now about the tips that I can give you about literally how to stay raw, how to keep the healthy path even though you're in a cold climate. All right, the first tip I have for you is stay warm. Stay warm, because if you're cold, then hot food is going to look much more appealing. You know how ice cream is so appealing in the heat because it's cold? Well, if you're cold, hot food is going to look appealing. So that's why keep your house warm, keep your heating on, keep enough clothes on, stay active enough so that your body temperature stays warm. Stay warm, because as soon as you start getting cold, you're going to start being like, oh, I want some hot soup, oh, I want some baked potato, that sort of thing. So stay warm. The next tip is about food. Go around and find the best quality stuff you can find. Okay? You need to get the best stuff. That is your best strategy in succeeding on a raw food diet. If you're not getting quality fruit, then how are you going to be satisfied? How are you going to be succeeding on this diet? You can't. You're going to start craving other things. You're going to be malnourished. Everything's going to go wrong if you're not eating at least decent quality. So you need to go around and look. You can't just go to your normal supermarket and be like, oh, there's no good here. No, you need to go to every single supermarket and find the stuff that's good. Here in Norway, these bananas are crap. The same brand, they're always crap. And I buy them at the various stores and they're always crap from those stores. Whereas some other stores have a different brand that is almost always good. So I make sure that I get those bananas. And I know because I've been shopping around and I've tried all of them, okay? Now, every now and then, they're out of bananas and I have to go to the second best source of bananas. But, so, okay, you gotta go around, you gotta look for the quality. You gotta find the quality. You gotta check all those different supermarkets. You gotta go to different markets. You might even go to the farmers. If there's fruit growing in your area, go to the farmers. Go find some fresh, fresh stuff. Maybe you gotta go to a wholesale market, see if you can buy in bulk from a big wholesale market. Either way, you gotta look for quality. Quality. That's the main important factor in succeeding on the raw food diet through winter. Another thing to keep in mind is that you want to eat seasonal. For whatever is in peak season will not only be cheaper, but it will be better, tasting better. You know, if you're seeing apples in the store way outside of apple season, they're either from last year's apple season or they're coming from somewhere far away. So they're not going to be any good. But when you see apples in the apple season, local apple season, they will smell amazing and they will be amazing. And that's true with any fruit. So eat according to seasons. So that means, you know, I can only speak about Norway, North Europe. North America, I think, is fairly similar. As you come into winter, persimmon starts coming into season. You might get cherimoyas. There's citrus that comes in during winter. So, you know, you gotta kind of be like, what's in season now, and eat that. Okay, so that's important. All right, so you looked around, you found the best quality stuff that you can. Got lots of juicy fruits on hand. You have lots of seasonal treats. What next? Bananas. Bananas are next. Bananas are the second most important factor in staying raw during winter in cold climates. I mean, first one being good quality fruit, second one being eating bananas. You gotta eat bananas because bananas are available year round, they're easy to find ripe, and they're easy to ripen at home. You can always have a sustainable supply of bananas, and they supply you with the calories, and you know, they're cheap and they're just overall good in that sense. They're probably the most appropriate food for a human of what's available where you're at. Bananas are a tropical fruit, and because of the culture of the world, we all love bananas and they're shipped everywhere, and that's why we can get bananas anywhere. So eat lots of bananas. I typically like to eat something juicy for breakfast and for dinner, and then for lunch I have a big smoothie, or I eat a lot of bananas. Okay, so make the lunch a banana meal. Make sure it's the biggest meal of the day, unless you have lots of other awesome quality fruit, of course. Here's another tip. Focus on the other elements of health. Don't forget about your sleep and your rest and your activity, because once you start losing your overall health, that's also when you start looking for something to pick you up, you know, start looking for stimulants. And typically you'll start looking in foods, maybe, you know, you might want to have some coffee, or you might want to have some cooked food, or, you know, some spices and stimulants, and, you know, anything that kind of can give you that little hit to keep you going. So avoid that situation by staying healthy on all levels. Sleep enough. When you're not sleeping enough, you're going to be tired. You're going to walk around looking for stimulants. Okay? So get enough sleep, get enough rest, and stay active. And in terms of staying active, I also recommend you never go the whole day without getting out of the house. Don't stay at home the whole day. You'll just go crazy. So get out of the house every day, do something, be in activity, be in movement. And, you know, going to the gym or something like that could be a nice thing to do if it's winter and you're just like, oh, everything is tragic. Just go to the gym, it's bright, people are exercising, music. It's kind of like a positive little thing to do. Or you might want to go out hiking in the forest, or whatever you like to do, you know, just stay active. Here's another one. Let's say you are used to having dinner at the end of the day, like we all are, right? And in this climate, when it's dark outside, you just want to have something to look forward to, some kind of meal that you're going to sit down with and just eat. And it's not always easy to be motivated about eating low quality fruit for dinner, you know. So what you'll do is you'll eat your fruit, but then you'll make a salad, okay? I don't typically eat much greens, but a salad is a good way to get that savory dinner feel, you know. If you need something a little bit more stimulating, make a salad with a nice low-fat raw vegan dressing, or maybe you make a soup, you know, blend up a soup, raw of course. Things like that can help a lot, I think. I also want to mention avocados. Avocados, for me, they're just a great way of finishing up the day. I mean, they give me that stimulation that I sometimes want from a dinner type of meal. So I'll have my mangoes or something like that, you know, and then I'll finish up with avocado, and it's just very satisfying. So use avocados, but don't eat too much of them, of course, because They're a bit high in fat. They're very high in fat actually, and they will quickly bring up your fat percentage, which will cause a variety of issues. Best keep your fat below 10%, maybe maximum 15% of total calories. So depending on how active you are, that's maybe a medium avocado a day, maybe a small one, maybe a big one. And if you're really, really craving avocados or something like that, you're probably not eating enough calories from sweet fruits. So instead of just eating more avocados, probably eat more bananas for lunch, or more of whatever you're having for breakfast, or more fruit before you're having your salad or whatever. And here's a good tip. Watch lots of YouTube videos, read books, watch documentaries. Just stay educated and inspired about the raw vegan diet, because that way you'll always be like, yeah, psyched about it. You know, when you're in the tropics, you don't need to be psyched about it. You're just naturally psyched about it. You're just like, fruit, sunshine, exercise. You're just out there. But when you're in a house looking out and it's just like, oh my God, it's difficult to stay inspired about bananas. You just want a baked potato. So that's when you want to stay inspired by watching YouTube videos, reading cool books, and that sort of thing. It's also a good idea to connect with others in your area. You know, maybe find someone else in your area that's also doing the raw vegan diet and connect with them. That's a good idea. And you can also connect with people online, of course. Just talk to people on forums, get on 30 bananas a day, you know, get on the 8 to 10 forum, ask questions, talk with people. That's really helpful. I also want to mention vitamin D, because you're going to run out of vitamin D when you're in Norway for the winter. And that's not good. So you want to consider either supplementing with vitamin D or maybe using sunbeds once a week or something like that. But I haven't looked into this issue thoroughly, like how much do you need to do or what supplements to take or if it's good at all. I don't know. I prefer to just get out of there and be in a sunny place. But if you choose to be there, make sure you research a little bit about vitamin D and make a decision. And speaking of going to a sunny place, it's probably also a good idea that you take a trip at some point during the winter. You don't really want to stay in a cold, dark place for like 6 months, okay? So get out of there. If it at least for a month or at least for a couple of weeks, I mean, seriously. But if you can do more than that, a month at least is great. Maybe you can do 2 months, maybe 3 months. You know, maybe you can skip the whole winter like I do and go away for like 6 months or more. It all depends on your lifestyle, but if you can at least get a month of tropical sunshine and fruit into your life in the middle of winter, I think that's going to make a huge difference in your ability to stay healthy during the winter half of the year. Last but not least, I want to talk about backup plans and fallback foods. So, you know, you're eating bananas, you're eating persimmons, you're eating citrus, you're eating melons, you're eating all these different awesome fruits, or maybe not so awesome all the time. And then you're hungry, but you have no more fruit on hand, or let's say you just can't take another banana. Okay, that's when you have dried fruit, dates, figs, apricots, even dried bananas. But they can only get you so far. I mean, the thing is with bananas here in Norway is that you get to a certain point and then you just can't take any more bananas. When I'm in the tropics having fresh bananas, I can eat quite a lot of them. But when I'm in Norway, I get really sick of bananas eventually. And that's when I eat mangoes or something like that, right? But when I don't have the mangoes, I don't have any other fresh fruit available. I've had my, whatever I had for breakfast, I had my banana for lunch, and then I'm like, I gotta have oranges again for dinner, or I gotta have bananas again. And sometimes I can't take it. In that case, I recommend you eating dried fruit, but even cooked food. I mean, worst case scenario, right? If you can't find anything else and you can't be satisfied with it, cook up some sweet potatoes, steam them, plantains, pumpkins, potatoes, even rice and beans and that sort of thing, but ideally you want to keep it closer towards fruit type nutrition, which you're going to get from a sweet potato and that sort of thing. I think the main thing here is in your mind, really. You have to be strong if you're not in the tropics. You have to be strong, focused, and know what you want and why you want it. If you have a strong reason why you want something, you'll make it work. So make it work, okay? And when it literally does not work, even though you try to make it work in the best way possible, okay? So it's just, fruit is the best, and the closer you can get to raw tropical fruits, the better, okay? If you can't go all the way there, just do the next best thing, next best thing, next best thing. So to wrap it up, just do your best. Realize that it is a compromise that you're living in a cold climate. It is a compromise in health, no matter what. But just do your best and be okay with your choices. And if you're not okay with being there, get out of there. But if you want to be there, realize that it is a compromise. Focus on all the elements of health. Stay as healthy as you can on all levels to stack the cards in your favor. You know, get enough sleep, get enough exercise, get enough rest, get as much sunshine as you can during midday. Go out during midday and be like, just, even though there's no vitamin D, just get as much as you can. Think about maybe you should take a trip during midwinter, and in general just stay inspired, educated, and focus on high quality fruit. Go around shopping for the best fruit possible. To find it wherever it is, go and find it. If you can't find it, then find it. And if you really can't find it, just do your best. And I mean, sweet potatoes, backup plan, okay? I hope you got something out of this fairly long video. I know all about how it is to be in Norway and other cold places like North America, Canada, all over Europe. Many places around the world are cold, part of the year. And I feel your pain. So if you have any questions, comments, ideas, or anything like that, or maybe you have some more tips on how to stay raw in the winter, you can post them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you have any specific issues or anything like that, you could contact me and I'll answer your email, or you could even get health coaching where we can talk specifically about some more strategies about how to stay raw during winter. I'll try and help you out as best as I can. Just go to our website, sweetnaturalliving.com, where we have health coaching, etc. And in the meantime, stay tuned to this channel because we're going to be doing some tropical traveling very soon. So hopefully that'll keep you inspired and give you some sunshine in your otherwise dark life here in the north, while we're eating awesome fruit and having a good time. So I hope that will help you a little bit. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you around.